Good day everyone, welcome once again to Studio 39 Design Studio. This is Richmond speaking, your resident architect. In this video I'm going to be creating a GATA system for this project that we've been working on for this architectural beginner tutorial series. So this is basically just for aesthetic reasons. I haven't been using GATAs in my designs for a long time, but this type of GATA system is sort of like a basic GATA system, and I'm just using this to help you guys understand what a GATA system is and how you can also use it in ArchiCAD, how you can actually create it using ArchiCAD. And it's very generic in ArchiCAD. It's very simple. These are some of the reasons why I love ArchiCAD so much. So let's get into it, guys. Before I continue, I'd like to encourage you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, because I do videos like this every week. With that said, let's get into it. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to go on and create a paving. So I'm going to select the slab tool, change my reference plane location, because previously I was drawing up the ceiling. So I'm going to do that, and then select the proper layout, which is going to be 3D paving. There you go, right there. And then I'm going to also change the structure. I'm just gonna use Masonic block for this one. And then the thickness, I'm just going to make it 50. That's the standard size. And then the offset from the finished floor level will be minus 28. It can be not minus 28, minus 280 or 28 centimeters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw it up from this point to that point, and then I'm going to go ahead and sort of like add to the polyline offset. I'm going to offset it from that point to that point, and then once again from that point to that point, and then I'm going to sort of like subtract from polyline that point like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and I'm going to do the offset all edges by 500, let's say. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to subtract the insides. There you go. Let's go on to 3D. Look at it. Oh, that's how it looks like on 3D. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to override the surfaces to this paving brick moss. There you go. Another thing that we are going to have to do with this type of roof design system, usually you don't put a GATA system, but if we're going to be creating a GATA system for this one, we're going to have to create sort of like a fascia board. So I'm going to go to F2, which is going to take me to the floor layout, and then I'm going to control up, which is going to take me to the next floor, which is the first floor. And then I'm going to be using a beam tool to create the fascia, and I'm going to be using the chain geometric method. And then under structure, I'm going to be using the rectangular, rather than the profile system, right? The height is going to be 200, and then the thickness and offset, the thickness will be, let's say, 6, and then the offset is going to be 3 for this one. And then what else? I'm thinking about the structure. The structure here, I'm just going to be using the gypsum plastic board for this one, and then I'm going to start drawing it up. So I'm going to start drawing it up from this point, so I'm going to go all the way around. There you go. So let's just go to 3D. I'm going to press F3 on my keyboard, and then I'm just going to click on show all layers, obviously, and then I'm going to select that. Right now what I'm realizing is that it's too high, so I'm going to Control D. In fact, I don't even have to drag it. I'm just going to click on one of the nodes and then press Shift so that it remembers the path of which I want. I want this path right there, and it sort of covers the trusses. That's why I went for 200. I could have gone for 150, but 200 is better because it covers all the trusses. So another thing that I'm realizing is not showing, so I'm going to go ahead and select the pen sets, the pen lines. Cut pen is going to be that. The uncut pen, same thing. The overhead, I'm not really worried about the overhang. Maybe we can go for something around 50%. And then the reference X pen, something that I'm not really worried about also, so we can go with that. I'm not really worried about the finish on this one, so I'm okay with leaving it like this. Now we can go ahead and create the GATA. So what we're gonna do is, with the GATA system, we're going to go onto Object Tools, and then I'm going to be selecting the 3D GATA, and I'm realizing right now that I don't have the layer that's called the GATA, so I'm going to Control L and then click on New, and then type in 3D GATA, say OK, and then select 3D GATA so that we are always drawing with that layer in mind. There's 3D GATA right there. And what we're gonna do while we're here, we can just click on the settings dialog, or Control T if you want to do that. And then we are already under this because on the previous video we created the rich tile. So where you'd want to find this under ArchiCAD library, basic library, and then special construction. Under special construction, you go to accessory elements, and that's where you're gonna find all the stuff right here. So we can either use the GATA method, but I find that's very complicated, so we're gonna go with just the simple GATA one line, right? And then the profile type is going to be use style. There are other options, which is the K and the half round, and also the dimensions of the U shape. What I'm going to be doing right here is that the height is going to be 75, and then the width is going to be around 100. And then I want to remove the end caps, so let's just plug it onto the blend right here. We're going to be creating it on the first floor, which is where we're drawing our roof, and then I'm just gonna click on show layer because it's not showing right here. So show layer, I mean. All right, there you go. That's the GATA system that we are going to be using here. So I'm just gonna rotate it like that, leave it over here, then go to 3D. So the one problem that we're having with this GATA system, so it's the wrong way around. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate it once again. Rotate. To rotate, guys, I'm using the Control E, and then I'm going to go to 3D. The reason why I'm flipping it around is because I'm looking at the hangers right here, so I want the hangers to be on the right side. And the other thing that I'm realizing right now is that this is showing badly here, and also it's showing some end caps of which we want to remove. So what we're gonna do is the end caps here are showing here, so they're ticked, so we're gonna untick them and then say okay. You'll see that the end caps are now have been removed, and we can just click on the style and dimensions, and then we have other options, but we are going to be sort of like going one by one. So the hangers, obviously the hangers need to line up with the roof, so we can use 28 for that one. and then you can go to downspout holes, and so this one I want it to be 75 and then 75. That's the reason why it was showing the way it was showing, but now it's showing properly. So because the width is 100, we can then have the where the hole is going to be about 75 by 75. So we've solved the problem. And then other thing that I want to do is 3D detail. So by MVO, I just want to make it full for now, see what happens. It's the same thing, so I'm not really going to worry about that too much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm gonna go ahead and bring it on to that corner, and then I'm going to mirror it right here. First of all, before I mirror it, let's go ahead and to the beginning, make this 45 and then make this also 45. So what I'm realizing, it's going the wrong direction, so we're just going to put minus at the beginning of each of this. There you go. And then I'm just gonna select this node and then drag it to that point, right? And then I can always mirror this like that, yeah, and then take that node, reel it in, mirror it once again, take that node, bring it over here. So one of these has to be positive like that. So what I'm going to do now, in order to not sort of like be doing the same thing all over again, I'm going to mirror this and drag it across to the other side. I mirrored a copy by control Shift M, which just mirrors a copy. So basically that's what I did right there. I'm going to do the same thing with this one, so I'm going to mirror a copy. I'm just gonna connect it right there, and then I'm gonna reel this in. There you go. And I'm also going to mirror a copy of this in a 45-degree angle. And then what I'm going to do, one of these has to be positive, so that's the one, so that I can then move it to that point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mirror this whole system to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to take this point, Control D to drag it across, Control D once again to just drag it across. Yeah, there you go. Obviously it's not asymmetrical, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this node, bring it into that point, do the same thing on this side, take this node, bring it into that point, take that, drag it to here, and last thing, mirror a copy of this, Control D to drag across to that point right there. So that's the GATA system. There it is right there. What I want to do is I'll go ahead and so I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna click the pink node or the magenta node in the middle of where the downpipe is going to be at, and then I'm just gonna drag it across to that point. This is where I prefer it to be, and then for these ones I don't really want it to show, so I'm gonna Control T to open the settings dialog, and then the downspout hole is going to I'm just going to untick that so that it doesn't show. And the same thing here as I did on the other side, I'm going to grab it to that point. So I just want to align it with the interior wall, and then I'm going to grab these two. I don't want them to show also, the downspout holes. Go ahead, say okay. I want to show here, line it up with the interior wall. Same thing here, line it up with the interior wall. Select this because I don't want them to show. Control T to open up the settings dialog, downspout hole. There you go. Another thing that I want to do is let me just isolate all of this. So that's the GATA system right there, and you can see the hangers are sort of like at different levels or different points, which really doesn't look proper, really doesn't look professional. So if you wanted maybe to, I'm just gonna group this, and then I'm going to Control T to open up the settings dialog box once again, and then I'm going to go to where the hangers are. And then under hanger positioning, right now it says custom, so we want it to be uniform, and then I'm going to be using the this one, which is going to then give us the proper spacing in between, which is 1 meter apart. And there you go. So if you wanted to fix that, you can fix it in that manner. And then I want to bring back everything, and then I can just manipulate the height from this point on to around there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So now what we are going to do now is we are going to create the downpipe system. So I can go onto the ground floor to the floor layout by pressing F2 and then select the objects tool, and then click on the settings dialog. So what we can do is we can go create one by one, go and create the GATA head leader, the downspout, which is also known as the downpipe from where I'm from, and then we can create the, this is known as the offset or the elbow, and this is known as the outlet at the bottom, which is also known as the elbow. But what we can do is, instead of going for each and every one of this, creating it one by one, we can just go to the downspout complex. So I'm going to click on that one and then click on OK, because we can always manipulate it in 3D. This is a reason why I love ArchiCAD so much, because basically this is a designer's tool and everything is sort of like you are able to design in 3D. So I'm gonna go ahead and Control T here, and what I want to do is the profile type is going to be the same as the opening on the GATA system at the top, 75 by 75. So I want to have that in place, right? And then I can go into to here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click this node right here, which is then going to help me to set the height. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I can also grab this node right here, not actually that one, but I want this node. This is the one that I want. And I want to line it up with the surface of the wall. So what I'm realizing right now is that the brackets are actually off the wall here, and they are sort of like in the wall. The reason is because of the under the offset 500. So I'm going to make it about half of 75. So half of 75 is, it's 37.5, which means that I can always bring this back just a little bit. There you go. Now the brackets are showing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring this in right here. So I'm going to click on this. I can move this elbow right here. So I want to line it up with the hole. There you go. And then I can bring the height up just a little bit, or maybe bring the whole height right here. I don't know why it's not allowing me to do that. or I need to grab the middle one so that it can go up just a little bit, and then I'm going to grab that node in between and then bring it down to here, and then click that node, move the height. Well, the problem is it's moving the whole height system, so I can do this. Well, also understand, guys, as I'm doing this is I'm not really doing any calculation. This is basically for aesthetic reasons. Obviously, while you are designing this, you can go ahead and do proper calculations with the gradient and everything like that, by going in here and manipulating all this information. But because this ArchiCAD is a design tool, I can easily just create all of this information in 3D and manipulate heights and positioning and offsets and everything like that. So this is basically not necessarily ideal. You'd want to create proper dimensions for the person that's going to be manufacturing this for you. And then obviously you can manipulate this should you wish to manipulate however you want this outlet to be. Okay, and then the brackets are in irregular levels, so the same thing as we did with the hangers. We are going to go into the hangers under positioning. We can go for uniform and make it 500 maybe, if you want to do something like that. And now it's uniform and it looks better. And then I can go ahead and change the I think it's fine the way it is, but we can go and change the presentation, pen lines, pen weights and everything like that. So there you go. So you can do something like that. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag a copy all the way across to there. While that is selected, I'm going to select this all again and then mirror copy, Control Shift M, grab that and then just put it there. And then you have your, so let me just remove this. So you have your GATA system all the way around, and that's basically how you'd want to create a GATA system in ArchiCAD. Obviously this is just for aesthetic reasons. I wouldn't put a GATA system on this type of roof design. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said in the beginning, like, comment and subscribe to this channel because I do videos like this every week. With that said, love you guys, God bless you, and goodbye.